All right, so I'm actually heading back, and I said I wasn't gonna record, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Um, it's something I notice about like people that come to Japan. So since I never really felt attached, like I wa to really anything, it was easier for me to just kind of pick up and leave. If something works, it works. If it don't, it don't. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time trying to make things work. Look at the bamboos right here. Don't waste your time trying to make things work. Sometimes that could be a sign that you don't need to be somewhere if things don't work out. Maybe that's what I believe. That's God trying to guide you because God speaks through situations. So anyway, I know people out here who things are kind of not working out for them out here. And, I told them about like, hey, it's other places out there that pay you more and you'll work less. Because I know people, like one guy was telling me, he found it hard to go back to work or, to the English team. Like I said, they don't pay you much out here. So he found it hard to go back. You're there 8 hours. Sometimes you're going to be bored. Sometimes you're going to have classes. Sometimes you're not going to have classes. It's very confusing. Um, Usually when they form a lesson plan, it's usually a botch. But anyway, it could be like, it can work your nerves, even if no one's being mean to you. If people are, Japanese people are usually very polite, but even if no one's being mean to you, it can work your nerves, just kind of feel left in the dark about a lot of things. So, I was like, well, if I could work by myself, where I can kind of control the tempo of the class, and I don't have someone like working under a Japanese teacher in English who don't even know the language. If I can be by myself, it'd be better. What's that? So anyway, I was like, basically, I was telling people like, hey, why don't you try to check out another place if you're having all these problems here, or if you don't like all these things, why don't you go somewhere else? And like, oh no, I just want to stay because of culture, I want to learn the language. And I'm like, even if you spend 10 years learning Japanese, you still ain't gonna fully grasp the language. It's like it's not a good investment. Your time is worth more than money, so it's not a good investment of time to really even put in the effort to learn Japanese. And Japanese is not an international language, so you can't use it outside of. Not a fish. You can't use it outside of Japan, really. And um, even if you learn the language, right, that's still no guarantee you're going to get a better job. And if you do get a better job, you're not going to be making like 300,000 yen. You're going to kind of be capped at 300, maybe 350,000 yen if you in the ESL. But maybe if you get into programming, because that's why Japanese have to learn English, because the international language of a lot of STEM is hold on, let me turn this off. Well, no, I'm not gonna turn it off. But the international language of a lot of STEM is English. So if you are a programmer over here or IT, you'll probably make like more than, I don't know, maybe 500,000 yen, uh, 600,000 yen. I don't know. But in ESL, you capped at 300,000 yen if you get a job that's paying 300,000 yen. So that's all you're going to be able to make out here. You're going to be kind of like bottlenecked. Whereas other places, like I said, could pay you more and you can always come back and visit Japan. You don't have to, it doesn't mean you got to say goodbye forever. But when you come back to visit Japan, you'll probably be able to stay here like a month and actually, just it's different when you working out here because you only can do things on a weekend. Whereas if you visit, like it's like because you get a lot of vacation time with China and you come to Japan to visit, you have a month to play. Not only that, you've been stacking your money. You've been making like 4,000 USD a month. Your apartment only costs like 300 for like a 3 bedroom, three bathrooms, $300. You know what I'm saying? You're making $4,000. So I was trying, I do try to share that with people. Like, oh, the culture and stuff. Like even if even if you like you still always gonna be a foreigner, no matter how much you give the culture. You you're not gonna fully grasp the language, even if you spend 10, 15 years studying. Some people have spent 10 years studying Japanese, and they still don't fully get the language and still probably not fully fluent. Some people are, but a lot of people are not. It's like I said, it's easier learning Chinese, and you can use Chinese more places than you can Japanese. You can only use Japanese in Japan, and that's kind of changing. Um, so yeah, even though it's like strange to me when I tell people about the other opportunities that are available to them in other places, they still like have a resistance to it, like a type of loyalty to something. And I guess because I'm not loyal, I mean, I'm only loyal to God above, but I'm not loyal to no principality on the earth. I'm not really loyal like that. So because it's always changing, they're not loyal to me. They after their own interests. What was that, dude? I seen something. I think it was a bird crawling into it. It looked like a big bird though. All right. You know, you like what I'm saying is you being loyal to something that's not loyal to you. Even like some Japanese, they loyal to Japan, don't want to leave Japan. But you know, they getting worked to death. You know what I'm saying? Well, is it worth it? If I mean, you're supposed to give yourself up for your culture. You know, culture is supposed to serve life, not the other way around. You know, culture by interpretation means behavior. So, so sometimes there are some good behaviors and some bad behaviors, but the purpose of having a culture is to protect you. It's supposed to have some things in there that's protective. Like, oh, don't eat. We have a culture of not eating these berries because they're poisonous, and like because culture by interpretation means behavior. So you have behavior of not eating certain berries because they're poisonous or something like that. But there's the culture's there to serve life. But the minute that your culture is killing you, you need to ditch it. And the minute that your loyalty to a country or to an idea or to a culture is killing you, ditch it. You know, I'm so I'm not loyal to like Black American culture, whatever you want to call it. I'm not loyal to nothing. Any the culture that's serving me, that's the one that I'll align myself with. But the minute that it's not serving me, I ditch it. A country that serve, I ditch it. A people or whatever they want to call themselves, I ditch it. So I mean, I think some people, if they feel like Japan isn't serving them, they need to ditch it. But it's just weird how some foreigners, I mean, out here not willing to try out other things, or make more money. And you can always come back to Japan, like, and stay for a month where you just doing that, traveling. You just traveling. Whereas you can only do that on a weekend. That's if you make the money. So I don't know. That was just some of my thoughts. I just wanted to get it off my chest. So later.